Hi Bobcats, it's Miss Saupe. This lesson is called I'm Ready for Middle School. I usually teach this lesson to all of my fifth graders who will be moving on to middle school in the fall. But since we can't be together, I wanted to still share the information with you. From this presentation, I hope that you learn what's different between elementary school and middle school and what stays the same or what's similar. And then I just hope to alleviate any fears or nervousness that you might have, which is completely normal as you move on. But overall, it's an exciting time, and I wish you all the success wherever you go. So here we go. I'm ready for middle school. There are 5 middle schools within Vista Unified. There's Rancho Minerva, also known as our feeder school, Vida, Madison, Roosevelt, and Vista Magnet. Rancho is the closest to Monte Vista, so the majority of our fifth graders will be going there. Vida and Vista Magnet, you had to be part of a lottery system and apply to see if you were lucky enough to make it. So I know some of you will be going to those schools as well, but every middle school in Vista is really good and you'll have a great time. It just depends on what you make of it. So what stays the same? Obviously, you'll have teachers still. Counselors is a little different. Instead of just having one counselor that you're used to at the elementary level, you actually will have 2. And you'll have a counselor assigned based on your last name. It's called alpha, based on your alpha. So if your last name is Anderson, you will be assigned a particular counselor. And if your last name is Ramirez, you will be assigned a different counselor. The other thing that stays the same are some familiar faces. I'm sure you'll have at least one Bobcat that will be going to your school that you'll recognize, and that alone, just knowing somebody, a familiar face, will feel good. You'll have routines, expectations, some kind of character counts message or social emotional learning. You'll still have classwork and homework. Attendance will matter. It's still law, so it's very important. The only difference is because you'll have multiple classrooms, or excuse me, teachers, there is a little more of a break time in between classes, but attendance still matters. You have to be on time to every class. You might use a student planner, and some middle schools will still have busing depending on where you live, with the exception of the magnet schools. Now here's what's different. Again, you will have multiple classes. Some schools you'll have 7 classes, and some schools you'll just have 4 classrooms with 4 different teachers, depending on what middle school you go to. For example, Vida has a blocking schedule and Rancho Minerva does not. So it's interesting how every middle school is different. You'll be dressing out for PE, and then there'll be more ways for you to get involved. I know Monte Vista had tons of clubs on campus, and this time you'll be able to pick based on your passion and interests. So make sure you get involved. It makes just your whole school experience more fun and you get to meet more people. You'll also be assigned student ID cards with your picture, and usually you'll have to carry those on you every day. The one thing I am jealous of you about are Mondays. Usually the middle schools have what's called late start Mondays, so you start later, so you get to sleep in, lucky you. The other major thing that's different is the grading system. So right now at the elementary level, your grades are numbers, numeric numbers, so 1 to 4, 4 being your strong performer in that particular subject. As you move on to middle and high school and college, you're now on the grading system. So it's letters A's, B's, C's, D's, and F's. Also, you're going to have a larger campus, a larger school, because there are more students. And then the cool thing about middle school and high school is something called electives. So these are also known as the fun classes. These are classes outside of the academic core work. Some examples, depending on what middle school you attend, some middle schools offer band, art, dance, theater, technology, robotics, Spanish, AVID, ASB, choir, yearbook, video production or photography, design lab, and more. Again, it just is personalized to whatever middle school you attend. And some of the electives that you see here might not be offered until you're in 7th or 8th grade, but nonetheless, please get involved. It's so much fun. You'll have fun. Again, you'll meet people who are like-minded like you. Now, what is different? There are some bell schedule samples that I've included here that you can link. There's a link here, so you just click on it and you can see what a schedule would look like. So hopefully that's one thing that it is different, again, because you have more classes and more teachers. So you might want to take a look at that. And this is how you can succeed in the middle school. I spoke to one of the middle school counselors and she said, this is what you should tell your students. Quote, if you do work in class, you won't have a lot of homework, end quote. So that's directly from middle school counselor. So make sure if you just do the work in class, you won't have homework after school. So just get it done. The other thing is, if you do not complete homework, you will be behind in class. So please make sure you're prepared. Be on time to every class. So it might mean you get a watch, or if you're lucky enough to have some kind of smartphone, something that will help you make sure you know what time it is so that you are on time. But most of the middle schools have they'll have bells that are ringing, and then you'll get familiar with how the system is and you don't have to worry about it. And then establish a homework routine, a study area, and always set goals. And be organized. This is probably the most important thing to be successful in your classes. Because some of you might have 7 teachers, 7 classrooms, you need to at least have a binder with dividers for each class. Also, put homework and important papers in your binder under the appropriate tabs. That way you can find it when you get home. And always clean out your backpack each night so you are prepared for the next day. A planner is something that you should continue to use middle, high school, and even college. Write down your homework every day for class so you know what's expected. Write down project due dates, important events, and any goals that you might have. Advocate, advocate, advocate. What does this word mean? It means to ask for help. It means to find your voice. And if you're struggling with something, then ask somebody. There's always somebody on campus that will support you and help you in whatever area you need, whether it's mental health support, whether it's academic support or career support. And that's why people got into education, to teach, to support. So always reach out to your counselors, your teachers. Somebody will help you. Or you could always email me and I will support you and or lead you to somebody that could support you on campus. And then teachers, counselors, adults, support staff. Again, if you need help, you need to find your voice and let us know, because you have to ask for it, because we don't know unless you ask for it. We can't read minds. A through G requirements. I'm not going to really get into this, but this is more for high school. If you want to be college bound, then you have to take particular classes, which are called A through G requirements, in the high school setting. So that might be something your 8th grade counselors will, your counselors will teach you about. But I just wanted to plant this seed so you can go over what's going to be the expectation once you start high school, because if you're college bound, you have to take these classes. Tips: go to orientation. Usually every middle school will have an orientation that you can attend physically and meet the principal, meet some teachers, your counselor. You can get your schedule, your ID card, books. Orientation is a great place to make new friends and walk the campus. You can also visit the website and just start diving in. A lot of the middle schools have videos that you can take a look at and get acquainted with that campus. Now, I know with the coronavirus, I don't know if they're going to have an actual orientation where it would be face-to-face, but if they don't, I'm sure they'll have something virtually, and I highly encourage you to attend. And always have a homework buddy in each class. Just in case you're absent, you can always call your buddy and figure out what happened that day and get the homework for the day. Don't forget to read over the summer. And also something really important, and that comes with PE, physical ed, learn how to open a combination lock for PE. Here's a video. Just click on that. It'll show you how to do that. And at first, it could be intimidating, but once you get the hang of it, it becomes fun. Things to remember: reclassification. It's important to take elective courses. And parent-student portal. It's the ability for you and your parents to keep track of your assignments and your grade, so you can be in control and know where you are and maybe what you need to make improvements in, what areas, So that's a way to keep track of your grades and assignments. And some extra notes, some middle schools, again, they do have district busing. Again, it depends on what school and where you live. Always be prepared. Have a buddy. You might have a different lunchtime than your buddy. Some campuses have multiple lunch periods, which is a bummer if your friend has a different lunch period than you, but that's also a great thing that you can now meet new people, and you'll meet new people in your classrooms that will be a familiar face, and it's always fun. Always have your materials. Again, go to orientation, it's important, and get familiar with the parent-student portal. The other thing is in between classes, you will have some time to yourself, maybe to go use the restroom or just chat it up with some of your friends, about 2 to 5 minutes, but always be on time. You'll have ID cards that will need to be with you at all times. Get involved with Avid. And this is a GPA calculation. You might want to YouTube that, like what is GPA calculation? But it's also something that you should be familiar with, especially as you start moving into the high school setting, because that's going to matter. Your GPA will matter significantly if you want to go to college. I included this link. It's a Jeopardy link. Have fun with it. It kind of reviews everything that was in this presentation, but to each of you, I will always be here for you if you need me, whether you're in middle school, high school, college, beyond. This is my email. I wish you success and happiness, and please always dream big and just email me. Just send me an email, even just to say hi. I'd love to keep in touch with you. Invite me to your events, to your promotions, graduation. It would just fill me with joy to hear from you. And if you need any help, again, we all need help in certain areas. I will always be here for you. All right, hope you enjoyed this presentation, and let me know if you have any questions. Thank you.